Renegade. About Taco Bell.
About Taco Bell? Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's an Amber thing. I look awful, but you know what? Who cares? I thought I'd jump on and talk to you all a little bit. It's been a long time and there's so much going on right now. So I'm gonna just try and log in on my other device. YouTube Premium, introducing family plan. Let's see. If we have anybody on and watching, can you let me know how the sound is and then let me know where you're watching from? That would be amazing. I was just going to talk a little bit about this coronavirus and the scare and what's going on here in California for those who are not in California, and just kind of hoping to get some feedback from some other areas. What are you guys doing? What's happening in your area? Are you guys feeling really panicked and scared? Are you feeling like it's not a big deal? Kind of just wanting to see where everybody's at and kind of let you guys know where we are here in California. So I'm still trying to kind of log in. That's not going to work. Hi, Manny. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So Woodlake, is that kind of close to me? Is that close to Fresno? We got a new puppy in the house too, so I'm a little distracted. So coronavirus. It seems to be quite the scare right now. Everybody is tripping. Our grocery stores are insane right now. I made the mistake of not grocery shopping for about a month and a half, and I would just kind of go to the store and get the things I needed for that day, and then, you know, make my breakfast, dinner, lunch, whatever, and just my cupboards and my refrigerator were a little bit bare. So 2 days ago, I went to the Walmart grocery store, and I stood in line to get very minimum amount of groceries because they don't have anything on the shelves. It's insane. It's crazy. Like, I've never thought in a million years that we would be experiencing something like this. You walk down the aisles and the aisles are completely empty. You see nothing but just bare shelves. So I was able to pick up a couple of things here and there, but I stood in line for about 45 minutes. That's how long the lines were, you know, just to get a very small amount of products. I'm a toilet paper person, but no, I did not run out and buy loads and loads and loads of toilet paper. I'm not that kind of person, but I don't like to be without toilet paper. So as a regular thing, I make sure that I have at least one, you know, pack of toilet paper from Costco. I went to Costco because I had like maybe 2 6 rolls left in the last pack that I had purchased. And so I went and I was like, I need to get some toilet paper. And there was like nothing. I did manage to find one pack and I felt so very fortunate to have that pack. But it's crazy. The lines outside of Costco are like, I think most Costco's are the same. The parking lots are huge. The warehouse is huge, and the lines are wrapped around the warehouse just to get in to get water and toilet paper. There was no water to speak of. I think that there were very few places that maybe had some water. I happened to go to Lowe's because I needed to get some things for business. I found some water there, so I picked up a pack. I'm not, you know, there's so many people out there. You can't just go in and take everything. So I, you know, purchased one pack and left some for others. Other people don't feel the same way. They just want to have as much as possible, and, you know, to each his own, I guess, whatever floats your boat. But please try and remember as you're shopping that there are other families out there that don't have the money to maybe shop in bulk. And so it would be nice to maybe take what your family needs and what they can use for maybe the next 30 days and leave something on the shelves for other people. It's just crazy. So what are my thoughts on the coronavirus altogether? I feel like I have kind of a lot of different feelings about it and emotions about, as you hear my son coughing in the background. He has had a cough for a little while. We took him to the doctor and they say that it's allergies. But I did talk to them at the doctor's office about the testing for coronavirus and how they're handling that. And they said that they're not testing people for the virus at this point unless we specifically go in and say that we've either been on a cruise, in an airport, or we have somebody that has visited us and come into contact with us that has been in one of those places. And at that point, I guess they will go ahead and administer a test. But he also said, the doctor also said that Quest Diagnostic, is a laboratory that they send the coronavirus tests off to, and that they only can take up to 10 tests per location. And then after they've tested 10 times, then they end up going out to the Department of Health for testing. So I'm not really sure, why, if they're just not equipped to do more tests than that, if they just don't have the test yet. I'm not sure why. It was my understanding that when the president had declared the state of emergency, was that yesterday or the day before? I think it was Friday. When he declared the state of emergency, that he had done that in order to get funding for to help contain or do whatever they need to do to obtain more tests and things like that. So am I afraid? I am not afraid. Am I cautious? Yes, I'm cautious. I'm not cautious to the point where I am out, buying a bunch of Purell and bathing myself in it, or spraying a can of Lysol at everybody I come in contact with, or myself. I'm not that kind of cautious. What we are doing here at home with the children and myself, my family, is we are just washing our hands more than we ever have before. And I just feel like it's more than that. I feel like is in excess. I feel like using a bunch of hand sanitizer, I feel like it's bad. For me, this is how I feel. I feel like the hand sanitizer kills a lot of the good germs that you have that fight, some of the intruders that try and make us sick, viruses, bacteria, things like that. And I don't need for any of the good guys to go down in the fight against the bad guys. So we're not hand sanitizing. We're not doing that kind of thing. We are just making sure that we wash our hands when we come into contact with people. We're not, I'm just not overly, I'm not overly crazy about all of it. I feel like there's so many people out there right now that are just like so afraid, and and I get it to a degree. I'm just not that person. I feel like they've made it very clear that it is the older population that is most in danger. And I think that the reason that they're doing all of this, taking all these precautions, doing all of the school closures. Yes, we are one of the ones that were affected with school closures here in Fresno, Clovis area. They've shut down the schools. Will be affected for the next month. So let's see how I get through that. I lost my train of thought, but just to contain it, I think, children are huge little germ carriers, and they go home to their families and things just get spread around. And I think it's really mostly for the help of, our older population, to make sure that we're not spreading it to them, to make sure that they are safe and, have the biggest and best chances, out there. I feel really like if we didn't have social media, that this would not be as scary as it is. I think that there's so much misinformation that is being spread out there that it is just terrifying people. And if we didn't have all of this social media, it wouldn't be so chaotic. I think one of the really important things for us to do and just to keep in mind is as we are on social media and we are partaking in all of this, you know, fear-driven stuff that's going on. I mean, when we're reading it, we're taking it in and we're a participant of it. Instead of doing that, let's post things that are that can help, you know, like a suggestion like this. So I did see something the other day and I thought it was a good suggestion. It was from daycare staff and they were saying that what they do on a regular basis, because they work with children and children are little germy carriers, that they do a very, very thin layer of Neosporin. They'll just take it, put it on their finger, and then, or a cotton swab probably, and then just swab the inside of their nostrils, because when you're breathing it in, it's an antibacterial, antiviral, and it kind of gets stuck in there and doesn't have a chance to penetrate the body. So I think that that's a really good thing. If you have any other great ideas like that that we can like pass around, do that instead of, you know, adding to the fear. I am a big believer that the vibration of fear is very destructive to your immune system. And so to spread that around, I think is, you know, worse than anything. I'm gonna come down here and look. It looks like we have some people participating, and thank you so much. Oh, James, thank you so much. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, okay. I was thinking that, Manny. I was thinking that sounds familiar. I think it's close by, 60 miles south. Chicago. Awesome. I'm so glad you're here. Is it red? I can't. But thank you for being here. It's your first time participating. I'm glad you're here. Catherine East, thank you for being here. Yes, I did hear, Manny, I did hear that, and I was going to talk about that a little bit. The witnesses have canceled their meetings. I had messaged my mom the day before yesterday, and you know, just she's older, and my dad has a very compromised immune system. He is going through dialysis and, you know, having some real hardcore health problems. So they're at the forefront of my mind as far as, you know, making sure that they're okay and safe. So I did reach out to my mom. It took her a little while to respond, but let me see, I can just read the conversation to you right here. And I did talk to my sister yesterday. They're both active witnesses, and they did, you know, kind of make me aware of what's going on. My sister did more than my mom. But I just said, how are you guys doing? She didn't respond for a really long time. So, you know, of course, I'm like, hello, you know, how are you guys? Are you guys okay? She says, yes, we're doing well. Thank you for checking on us. How about you guys? And I told her, you know, that they were canceling the schools and bigger events that were in our area. They've canceled like all the concerts, anything where there's like more than 250 people in attendance or plan to be in attendance. They're just shutting that down. I asked her, I said, are you guys experiencing the same stuff as far as like, you know, school closures, the grocery stores being empty, things like that? And she said, yes. I asked her if they were still going to meetings or if they had been canceled. She said yes, that they told us to take it seriously and to follow instructions. And then, you know, I tried to talk to her a little bit more, but she was just like, yes to all your questions and thank you with a heart, and kind of just stopped responding. So that wasn't good enough for me. That wasn't good enough for me. So I called my sister yesterday and we had a really good conversation. Just wanted to make sure, of course, you know, that they're doing okay. Kind of wanted to see what's going on in their area. She is in the Bay Area, San Francisco area. and asked her all the same questions, you know, like, are schools closing down? Are the grocery store shelves empty? Like, what's happening in your area? She said it's all the same there. Grocery stores are very empty. Schools are closing down for, you know, about 30 days or so. I asked her about the meetings. She said that they had indeed canceled the meetings, that they had canceled any field service, any street corner work. I know I'm saying that and that sounds like really old school, but remember, I've been out for a really long time, so those are the terms and phrases that they used to use back then when I was still a part of it. So like, you know, street corner, field service, meetings, whatever, they've all been canceled. She said that they have been, these are her words, you know, they have been very loving, lovingly explaining that they need to go ahead and follow the instructions of the local enforcement and governments, things like that. And that they are telling them not to be afraid, that everything's going to be okay, and just kind of very, in a very soothing way, letting them know, you know, to follow the local authorities' instructions. So that was what I have so far. I did receive some information from James Haish. I hope I said your name right. Earlier today about the coronavirus and the letters that the brothers are getting. I have not had a chance to read those fully yet. Once I do, I will come back and I will share that information with you. And if any of you are interested in receiving a PDF form of the information that was sent to me, just inbox me at avlog82@gmail, and I will send that information directly to you. Let's see. So yeah, you know, it's kind of crazy. It's just kind of crazy, like, overnight, you know, it feels like it was just like overnight, all of a sudden we're in, you know, this complete world debacle. And I really wish that social media wasn't what it is, because I feel like people are becoming, you know, so afraid. The mortality rate for this virus is very, very high. You know, I've heard it a lot, and I'm sure all of you have heard it a lot. The flus that we get every single year are much more dangerous than this virus. To the same populations, you know, to this very same populations. It's going to be the older people, people who have very compromised immune systems, that are going to suffer the worst. So why is this such a huge ordeal and our regular influenza not? I don't know. I can't answer that question, but it just makes me wonder, you know, like, is there something we don't know, they're not making us privy to? Is there something about this virus that, you know, is so much different than, you know, an influenza, something like that? I don't know. Let me think. I always feel like I have so much to say, and then I get on camera and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Done. No. Let's see. Let's go back here. I did. Oh yeah, Sally. I shared that on Facebook. She says here, American Ambulance is hiring people who as babysitters for their employees. But it seems like they are hiring. I saw something. Let me go back to it. I just posted it. Let's see. My in-between music. Let's see. If you guys are on on Facebook with me, you know, of course you've seen these posts, but it says, you know, area teachers, Fresno, Clovis, Kings County, out there who are seeking work during school closures. American Ambulance is hiring credentialed teachers and child care providers to help ensure emergency services run smoothly during the public panic. And then it goes on to say that American Ambulance is offering $20 per hour for 2 to 6 shifts per week. Individuals would be caring for children of employees aged 5 through 12 so that they can continue to work. That's awesome. That's also something that I have on my Facebook, have made myself available because, you know, moms and dads still got to work. We live in America and it's not cheap. So, you know, for the people who live close to me, I'm willing to help as well. Also willing to when I go out to the grocery store, if there's anybody in the community who needs something and is unable to because of the virus scare or their own health issues, can't get to the store, I'm available for that as well. This was something that I posted the other day, and I kind of really feel kind of close to this. I'm gonna read it to you, but it's about the crisis, and it says, and just like that, the government controls all the sporting events, concerts, jobs, colleges, medical facilities, whether or not you can leave your house, has depleted resources such as toilet paper and food, controls all travel, and you guys wonder why they develop viruses to scare the public. They now control you and everything about your life. See how easy that was? Mass panic, hysteria, complete control of literally the world. It's true. Over a virus. One that the survival rates are even extremely high. All freedom has been limited overnight. And then it says again, see how easy that was? I kind of feel like that. I just feel like what a test. I'm sorry, I'm tying my son's shoe. Let me turn it this way.
Okay.
And please don't get me wrong. I'm not at all trying to say that this isn't real, because it is real. I mean, there are real cases out there. Real people have passed away. Real people are sick. There are real tests being done. But I feel like, it's really being blown, in my opinion, out of proportion. And when I say out of proportion, I just mean a proportion of how many people have passed, or become very, very ill over this. I feel like it's being blown up, and it's just insanity to me. And I guess I'll repeat this as well, but I do understand to a degree why, they are going to the extents that they're going to. They really want to make sure that it's contained and it isn't spread. Another thought that I had was that exposure to this virus isn't completely bad, terrible, or awful. I think that it's important to have that exposure, because then your body can start to build an immunity to it. Our bodies are such resilient, machines that, when it comes in contact with something that isn't good for us, it right away starts to fight and build against it. So if we don't have that exposure, we're not going to be able to build that immunity. So I would just really highly suggest to help your immune system. Instead of running out and hoarding toilet paper, run out and get some vitamins. Vitamin D is amazing. Echinacea is awesome. My sister had said elderberry. Elderberry is amazing. Help your, body's army and give it the resilience it needs. Feed that instead of feeding the hype and all of the scare. Feed your body and its immune system what it needs in order to get through this. I feel like that's almost the best advice that can be given under any circumstance, with regards to this virus, is just to make sure that you're healthy and that you're taking care of your body in the best way possible. Take care of that immune health. Let's see. Oh yeah, Sally's also saying that it's, this is another thing too, that, the containment and all of, the school closures and the not going into public for 250 or more people, things like that, are also so that we don't overwhelm the hospital system, so that they can properly care for the people that come in and that are very, very sick. So that's really important too. Let's see. Sally has lots of good information. So she's in the feed right now. She's always has good advice. She says exposure to the sun is supposed to kill the virus. And so I'm not sure if that would be heat or vitamin D. So, I mean, you can get vitamin D if it's raining outside. Like, it's kind of been gloomy and rainy outside for the past day or two here. I keep on hoping for rain, but rain does not come. It just kind of like teases me and then backs off. But vitamin D is very good. Like I mentioned earlier, just take care of your immune health. Lots of water. People are saying lots of water. I've also heard gargling, you know, with salt water, things like that are killing the virus. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think that the more that we put out there of things that we can do to help ourselves is better than just running around mass hysteria, buying up all the toilet paper, making sure that there's none for anybody else, or buying up all the water. I mean, I bought a Brita. We can use a regular water, buy a Brita. You don't have to buy up all of the, I don't know. Stop, Amber. Like, I could go off on this stuff. It's just crazy. Let's see. Yes, Sally says the sun creates vitamin D in your system. Right. So, no, I have not seen this game. Is it, does it follow the model of what's taking place in the world right now? He says quite, or I'm not sure if you're a he or she. I'm sorry, I just went with he. Quite dubious. So I haven't been on in a little while, and I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit too. I have been kind of just sitting back, kind of watching a lot of things that are going on. I feel like a part of me feels like the ex-Jehovah's Witness community, to a degree, has become a little bit toxic. I see a lot of, you know, just cliques and groups that are kind of, you know, going at it and, you know, pointing fingers and calling each other out on certain things. And I just like I'm kind of taken back by some of it. I most definitely don't want to be a part of that. My whole purpose for starting my channel or starting to talk about the organization and about the things that I experienced within the organization during the time I was a part of it had nothing whatsoever to do with being a part of cliques or getting into arguments or pointing fingers or anything like that. And since I don't know if it's always been like that, like there's just certain ones that are always kind of like that, or if it's just something new that started to infiltrate the ex-Jehovah's Witness community, but it's really made me kind of take a stand back on it all. I find myself at times wanting to defend others. I feel like that's always kind of been like who I am internally, is like if I feel like somebody's being picked on, I'm like always like front and center to kind of defend or, you know, to protect. And I just feel like there's so much going on. I just kind of have stood back. I've been kind of waiting for it to die down and chill out so that when I re-enter that I'm not getting mixed up in all of this. It's kind of hard sometimes because you know, there's quite a few of you out there that I have become very, very fond of and that I talk to on a very regular basis. And so when I hear these people's names come up, it's really hard for me to just, you know, keep my mouth shut about it. But I really don't want my channel to turn into, you know, more of a bashing or gossip or, you know, that kind of a channel. I really wanted it to remain focused on helping those who are truly, you know, trying to come out of the organization, or, you know, words of wisdom and help for those who are out that just need encouragement or, you know, that type of a thing. So it's just really been a little bit of a difficult time for me to kind of like re-emerge. I feel like there's just so much going on. And then, you know, of course, we have the one hamster on a wheel that cannot ever seem to keep people's names out of his mouth. I've kind of just, you know, stopped watching that channel altogether, because it is sometimes, it kind of gets to me sometimes. And I don't want to be coming to you from a frame of mind that is tainted by all of these other little ugly things that are going on the side. That's not at all, you know, that's not what I want. So I've just kind of remained quiet for a little bit. I do plan to come back in and start talking about things. It's just a matter of me getting, you know, a sound mind back in the right place where I am actually able to come to you with things that are helpful, that are encouraging, that are eye-opening. And I've just also had a lot going on, you know, in my own life with work and things like that. So I wanted to say that. I tremendously miss being on YouTube. I miss, you know, having conversations with you all. I miss the back and forth. I miss it all very much, but I want to make sure that when I do come back that I am of sound mind to move forward in a positive direction. So I am planning on just kind of taking myself out of all these ex Jehovah's Witness groups. I feel like for me, I take things in on such a personal level that it's not healthy for me to be a part of those groups. So I'm going to dismiss myself, and then once I do and I'm able to just kind of like breathe myself through it, I will be back. I have not watched the special that came on. Was it just the most recent special that had come out about the sexual abuses that have been going on within the organization? I had planned to, and I have them recorded, but they came on, and I was planning on watching them the next day because I had something going on that day. And one of my friends that I went to the Kingdom Hall with when I was very young, she was one of my best friends. There was, like I've told you guys before, I have several girlfriends that we all kind of keep in touch with one another to a degree on social media or whatever. One of them reached out to me and said that she was so deeply disturbed by it that she had to turn it off, and that she just felt so much like mental anguish over it. And I was like, oh Lord, I don't know that I am ready to watch that right now. I mean, if she went through that much, I'm not sure exactly what, she didn't say specifically what it was that made her feel that way. But I guess I'm just assuming the worst for the whole show. So I haven't mentally prepared myself enough to watch that just yet. But when I do, I will, of course, you know, speak to you about it. I know that it is like old news already for most, that most people watched it when it first came out, and that most people came out and spoke about it right away. And I did watch a couple of Jay the comedian's videos. I think it was maybe one or two of them, and I think he had like come out like right at the same time, like maybe probably even the same night, I think, if not the very next day of the very first show that came out. And but I haven't really watched very many people's responses to that particular special. So that is that on that. Does anybody have any questions before I go? I'd love to be able to talk to you a little bit before I run off. Looks like, let me just take a look here and see what's happening. So are all of you in your own, okay, so I know some of you are close by here or in California and probably experiencing the same exact things that we're experiencing with regards to this virus. What about people in other states? Are your states being affected the same? Is California just being hit really hard? Are you experiencing like your shelves completely empty, or or for the most part, I did hear from somebody in, I think it was like Idaho, and they were saying that they were virtually like unscathed as far as their grocery stores and things like that were concerned. They still had quite a bit, you know, just of selection, that there wasn't, you know, a big deal over there. Anybody else feel that way? Linda James is saying that many doctors and nurses have been saying that the whole thing is being overblown to sound much more dangerous than it truly is. That's my experience too. I have, like I said, when I went in and I talked to the doctor about Avery's cough, they said the same thing. They said that, you know, it's, they feel like it's really being blown out of proportion. Oh, this was another thing I wanted to mention too. So since that state of emergency was, Avery, can you turn that down, please? Thank you. Since the state of emergency was declared and they are getting more resources, this is kind of what I'm expecting. And I mean, I don't know, this is just, you know, from me, this is my expectation, so I wanted to share it. But they're getting more resources, which means that they're getting more tests and things like that. So I think that what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks is that they'll probably get a huge spike in the number of cases of coronavirus, not because we haven't all been exposed and carrying or maybe had it ourselves. We weren't tested. We didn't have the tests prior. But now that the state of emergency has been declared and the resources are going to be made more readily available, more people will get tested. So I'm sure that there's going to be a huge spike in the number of people who have the coronavirus. And I think that that may, you know, scare people quite a bit more. So I think that, you know, maybe for a couple of more weeks, we may be facing the aftermath of that, you know, just probably maybe a lockdown. I've already heard that there is going to be, and I don't know for sure, so please understand that I'm hearing a lot of things, and I'm kind of picking and choosing from what I'm hearing, and the things that I've kind of researched myself is what I'm presenting to you. But I have heard that they're probably most likely going to do like a lockdown for people over a certain age so that they're protected and safe. And probably not a complete lockdown, but a little bit more precautionary measures will be taken across the board altogether, at least here in California. I heard that they were going to do like a 2-week lockdown, because I think that what the virus is, how do you say it, like its incubation period is about 10 days. So I was hearing like somewhere around 2 weeks that they were going to do a lockdown. I'm not sure if that means like a 24-hour lockdown in your home. When I find that information out, I will come back to you. I'm sure you'll all know, but at least we can talk about it and kind of, you know, get our questions out or be able to discuss it. It seems like discussion helps a lot, at least to be able to express how you're feeling and what you're thinking. You know, tends to help a lot with regards to the fear we have about it, to actually know what's happening in certain places versus wondering if what we're being shown on social media is true or not true, because a lot of that stuff is false. So as soon as anything is implemented here in California, I will definitely share that with you so that you guys are in the know. You actually know from somebody who's experiencing, you know, what's taking place. So I hear that that's about to come. So I would really expect that the numbers of coronavirus cases to immensely spike, which doesn't mean that the death toll is going to tremendously spike. I think we're just going to finally, you know yes or no whether or not we have it, because we'll have the number of tests to test people. Let's see. And then I think it'll kind of calm down. I think that, you know, I really feel like we're going to be okay. I feel like the things that we discussed in the beginning, just make sure you're washing your hands, make sure that you're taking care of your immune health. And I think that's it. Let me take a look, because I did ask if anybody had any questions. Sally said that per the president, that this should be all done and over with in about 8 weeks.
Ooh, that's me water.
Let's see.
Go get me water.
Sally's a great source, you guys. If she's commenting down in the comment section, take a look at what she has to say. She is, I know her personally. She lives in Fresno. We get together for fun. We hang out. You know, she's a wonderful resource. She does research. She is a very good research person. And she's a very good person to go ahead and take some advice from if she's giving it. And she also doesn't speak unless she has done enough research to speak on something. So she doesn't just say whatever she feels like. She says what she feels is honestly the truth. And so I have a great trust for the things that she shares with me and with the group. I'm wondering that same thing. Linda James says, if, are any other jobs being affected? Here in Fresno, so far, not many other things that I know of have been affected just yet. I mean, well, Sally was saying where she works that there has been a shutdown on visitation of people within the facility where she works, but not of people going into work. With regards to real estate, we are, you know, business as usual. We're trying to, you know, get those homes sold that people have entrusted us to sell. I'll tell you right now, with regards to the market, a lot of people have decided to wait, you know, on buying. A lot of people have decided to wait on looking at homes. A lot of people are very afraid. And I can also say this, being in the housing industry, that right now is the best time to buy. Rates are so low. You know, they're trying to offset what's taking place, because whether we realize it or not, the economy is taking a hit on this. You know, trade is stopping, you know, with certain countries where we normally receive a lot of trade goods. You know, so there is a lot being affected. I know that they've shut down, like Save Mart Center, things like that, like our, where concerts would come in and play. And that's because of the fact that, you know, those kinds of events call for a much higher number of people to gather, and that's what they don't want. So those kinds of employment places have, you know, closed down for the meantime. My sister did share with me that she works for a cosmetic surgery type place. It's called Skin Spirit, and they have locations all over. But she's saying that they have restricted their flights. She flies back and forth a lot. She's like a district manager, and so she goes back between many facilities. And they stopped allowing them to go into the airport, so they've stopped all of their flights. Avery, can you please turn that down? Turn it down. Thank you. And she said that they are asking for as many people that can work from home to work from home. I don't know. I haven't really heard too much. I think we're still here, you know, in the Fresno Clovis area, waiting to hear whether or not things are going to get shut down, whether or not, and I guess that would go to if that whole, you know, 2-week, you know, lockdown kind of comes into play. If it happens, then, you know, of course, work and things will be shut down at that point. For as far as what I know, there's a lot less people out. I mean, it's not like what I've seen on, you know, Facebook, where people were, you know, crowded in places before, and now there's one person out. It's not like that. People, for the most part around here, are still kind of moving around and doing things. I think, like, my own preference has been, I'm still moving in life pretty much normal. Like I said, washing hands a lot more. I don't really let the kids, like, I haven't been letting them go to, like, the extreme jump places where I feel like they can't contain the germs very well. You know, those kinds of things. We're still going to the movie theater. We're still going out and doing normal things. But like I said, I'll let you guys know if, you know, things come down the pike and businesses start closing down and things like that. At this point, There's still fast food available. The grocery stores are still open. Department stores are still open. There's definitely been a shift in where people are spending money, though, as to where we'd normally be spending money in entertainment and things like that. Oh, I heard Disneyland shut down. I'm not sure. I didn't really double check that, but I had seen something go. I think it was like a post or something on Facebook or something about Disneyland, which I was kind of sad about because we were supposed to go and visit Disneyland next month. We'll see what happens. We also had a planned trip to DC we were supposed to do in May. I was super excited about that, but I have a feeling that's going to get shut down. I'm not sure yet. Keeping my fingers crossed that things kind of die down and we're okay to travel by then, but we shall see. Marvin, what's up? Let's see. They're crazy. My kids in the background are crazy. It made me really sad. I was reading something on Facebook and I was thinking to myself, what am I going to do for an entire month? I'm going to have my little gremlins home, my thing 1 and thing 2. But I mean, for work and things like that. But I'm happy to have them. I'm happy to be with them anytime, obviously. But I read this post and it made me really sad. And I was thinking about this a little bit. Is that what about all those children who go to school and enjoy going to school because their home situations are so completely horrible? They're being abused and such. Things like that. Just there's so many different things going on in the world. It's just insane. But let's see. Sally said absolutely more stressful. That's why they did the emergency order on Friday to help workers. Yeah. Sally says that when Disneyland and the Mormons shut down, that this shit just got real. Right? Let's see. Yeah, I got that. So, yep, that's what I know. That's where I stand. That's where things are at this point. I also have a house cleaning business that I had started a couple of years ago. And I'm just going to be advertising the crap out of that to try and kind of help, the real estate industry. That's who I cater to. We cater to realtors, to get their listings prepped and things like that. And if things have slowed down in that area, then, at least maybe we can help get in there and make sure that things are clean and people have less to worry about with regards to that. But in any event, that's all I have for today. I'm so happy to be able to be here, to be able to talk to you, to reconnect, to touch bases. Like I said, if you guys want to see the PDF that was sent to me with regards to how the witnesses are handling the coronavirus, be sure to inbox me at avlog82 at Gmail, and I'll send that right over to you. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and I'll do some reading. Probably not today. I have a lot going on today, but tomorrow. And then I'll post in the, where I post the memes. I'll post there when I'm going to do a video about that, so that you guys have a little bit of a heads up about it. Until next time, I will see you all later. Stay safe, wash your hands, and yeah, that's it. Talk to you later. Bye.